In the rich tapestry of 1970s, American television, few shows captured the shifting sands of family life with as much warmth, honesty, and gentle humor as One Day at a Time. Returning to the Romano apartment through this episode's script feels like stepping into a familiar yet ever-evolving world, one where the everyday struggles of a working single mother take center stage against the backdrop of a nation grappling with changing gender roles, economic pressures, and the aftermath of the sexual revolution. The script opens with the kind of light-hearted, chaotic domestic energy that defines the series, immediately immersing us in the lives of Anne Romano, her daughters, Julie and Barbara, and the colorful supporting characters who orbit their Indianapolis apartment like satellites around a resilient sun. The episode begins in the midst of sibling banter between Julie and Barbara, a classic setup that showcases the show's masterful understanding of teenage sister dynamics. Their exchange of lame jokes, such as the one involving Robert Loretta and Egg Foo leading to name 3 Youngs, and the even more absurd, Everest McKinley and Raquel Welch. For Name 4 Mountains, serves not merely as filler but as a delightful window into the playful, imperfect world of adolescence. These moments are quintessential 1970s sitcom humor, silly pun-filled and grounded in the reality that children even in broken homes find joy in the ridiculous. One can almost hear the studio audience's laughter as the girls bicker, revealing the underlying affection beneath their barbs. This light opening establishes the Romano household as a place of constant motion, where arguments are resolved not through grand gestures but through the mundane act of finishing this stupid argument in there, as one sister urges. As the scene transitions, we meet Anne Romano in the company of David, her lawyer boyfriend. Their interaction crackles with the electric chemistry that makes their relationship so compelling. The script captures a tender yet awkward moment where Anne admits, "Oh David, I love you," followed by playful back and forth about the exact wording and intonation of that declaration. This sequence brilliantly illustrates Anne's character as a woman liberated by divorce yet still navigating the complexities of new romance. At 34 years old, she finds herself in a relationship with a younger man of 27, sparking humorous accusations of age-related insecurities. David's playful jabs, calling her Big Annie while she retorts about his childish behavior, highlight the show's willingness to explore generational and personal vulnerabilities without descending into melodrama. The physical comedy of a bitten lip and the ensuing laughter underscores the genuine affection between them, a far cry from the more rigid family structures of earlier decades. What makes this opening so resonant is its portrayal of Anne as a multifaceted single mother. She balances flirtation and intimacy with the practical demands of parenting. When the girls interrupt with questions about the nature of her kiss with David, referencing a televised Faye Dunaway and Robert Redford moment, we see Anne's discomfort and protectiveness clash with the openness her daughters demand. Her insistence on bedtime at after 1 o'clock, coupled with her appreciation of the girls' jokes, despite the late hour, paints her as both authority figure and empathetic friend. In 1970s America, where divorce rates were climbing and women were entering the workforce in greater numbers, Anne Romano represented a new archetype, the liberated mother striving for independence while fiercely guarding her children's well-being. The arrival of Schneider, the building superintendent, injects a dose of broad comedy that perfectly complements the more nuanced family interactions. His late-night visit with chicken soup, 2 varieties, chicken noodle and chicken rice, becomes the catalyst for much of the episode's humor. Schneider's self-aggrandizing monologue about noble night owls like doctors, firemen, and tow truck drivers is delivered with such earnest absurdity that it immediately endears him to the audience. He is the nosy, well-meaning neighbor who blurs the line between helpful and intrusive, a staple of 1970s sitcoms that reflects the close quarters living of apartment complexes during that era. His interruption of Anne and David's intimate moment exemplifies the lack of privacy in Anne's life, a constant theme for single mothers juggling romance and responsibility. As the script progresses through the proposal scene, we witness David's earnest but comically ill-timed attempt to formalize their relationship. Proposing with chicken soup instead of champagne becomes a running joke, one that Anne's daughters eagerly join in mocking. This moment captures the essence of David's character, romantic yet practical, persistent yet sometimes oblivious to social cues. Anne's exhaustion at 2 o'clock in the morning, her plea for him to leave. and his granting of a one-week thinking period set up the central tension of the episode. It is here that the script begins to weave financial and emotional undercurrents into the domestic fabric. Anne's life is one of temporary jobs, tight budgets, and the constant pressure of providing for 2 growing daughters without relying on others, a reflection of the real economic realities faced by many divorced women in the 1970s, when support systems were often inadequate and societal judgment lingered. The mother-daughter conversations that follow, particularly Anne's late-night talk with Julie about love, marriage, and her past with the girl's father, add layers of emotional depth. Julie's probing questions about what attracted Anne to her ex-husband, culminating in the humorous tickle and bite nicknames for his ears, blend teenage curiosity with genuine concern. Anne's admission that she once felt confident in her choice only for it to end in divorce reveals her internal conflict. She wants to believe in love again but fears repeating past mistakes. This scene is a masterclass in character development, using dialogue that feels authentic to the era's shifting attitudes toward marriage and self-fulfillment. Barbara's witty interjections provide balance, preventing the conversation from becoming too heavy while reinforcing the family's bond through humor. Throughout this initial segment of the script, the writing excels in its attention to small details that humanize the characters. The girl's complaints about cleaning, Anne's frustration after a long day of job hunting and grocery shopping on a tight budget, and the casual references to popular culture like MASH or the Waltons ground the story firmly in 1970s America. The apartment itself emerges as a character, a modest space, filled with love arguments, laughter, and the occasional power outage caused by Schneider's repairs. It symbolizes both the constraints and the warmth of single motherhood during a time when women like Anne were pioneering new paths. Thematically, this part of the episode lays the foundation for exploring pride, independence, and the challenges of blending new relationships with established family units. Anne's resistance to being taken care of in medieval fashion, as she describes David's grocery haul, foreshadows deeper conflicts. Yet even in disagreement there is affection and respect. David's over-the-top gestures stem from love and a desire to ease her burdens, while Anne's pushback reflects a hard-won sense of self-reliance forged through divorce and single parenting. In appreciating the performances implied by the script, one cannot help but admire how the dialogue allows for rapid shifts in tone, from slapstick interruptions by Schneider to tender confessions of love and doubt. The timing of the jokes, the overlapping conversations, and the natural flow of family chaos demonstrate the show's sophisticated writing. It avoids preachiness, instead letting the characters' flaws and virtues unfold organically. For viewers in the 1970s, Anne Romano was a beacon of possibility. For modern audiences, she remains a relatable figure whose struggles with work, dating, and raising teenagers transcend time. This welcome return to the Romano apartment reminds us why One Day at a Time was groundbreaking. It treated single motherhood not as a tragedy but as a vibrant, complicated reality filled with humor and heart. As the script sets the stage for the larger conflicts involving private school aspirations and financial offers, it does so with the confidence of a series that understands its characters deeply. The daily life depicted here, messy, loving, and profoundly human, continues to resonate because it mirrors the universal experience of trying to build a meaningful life one day at a time.